So welcome to our orientation and academic advising. This is where we give you all that information, all those questions you've been asking, emailing about, low-key panicking about. We're going to answer those questions for you and just provide some insights for the program overall. We have some amazing people here with us today. And amazing meaning that you all are amazing, but we have some other amazing people with us today who would be here to assist in getting this orientation going and to provide that kind of support, academic, morale support that you all don't, so that you all don't feel so isolated in these times. So to start, we're starting with the most important person here, the lady who, and she's shaking her head, the lady who keeps us all running, the lady who makes sure that everything that I have to do to help you all, that you all need to do to graduate, the person who oversees it all, our wonderful head of department, Professor Elizabeth Walker-Hackshaw, will be sharing some words with us now.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So wonderful to have you all here with us. Yes, that is my name, Elizabeth Walcott-Hackshaw, and I love graduate studies. Let me start off with that. I used to be the Deputy Dean Graduate Studies, so graduate studies is my home. So I'm so happy to welcome you all here. Yes, I'm the person you talk to, but I'm not the most important person by any means. The important people, I'll let you know, are two people that you need to know. You just met the first one, Dr. Kiara Matthews, who's the coordinator of the program. Let me let you know, first of all, she is passionate about this program. And one of the most important things that you can have someone directing a program is someone who's passionate about it. She's been working very, very hard to pull things together. And it's thanks to Kiara that we have this program running this semester. So I am very proud to have her as part of our Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics team. So she's a very important person. You will meet some of your tutors later on and be introduced to them. But another very important person that you definitely need to know and be very nice to, he's nice, I'll tell you that, he's a nice guy, Mr. Robert Baird. Robert is excellent. He is our postgrad administrator. He's the one that pulls everything together. He pulled it together today. And if you have problems or issues, please go to Robert first before you come to me, because he will help you sort it out. He too is very passionate about postgraduate work. And as they say, all joke aside, you have two people here, Robert and Kiara, who will help you. And of course, I will help you. Okay, so you can see I love graduate studies, so I'm not going to give you a long speech, but there are the things I want to share with you. The first thing is you need to create a community. It's difficult already doing virtual and online learning, but a community is crucial. You will do that for your classes. You will form your WhatsApp groups, but I'm talking a little beyond just the WhatsApp groups. I'm the postgraduate coordinator for French, and one of my postgrad students did something that I think helped all of them move along and graduate on time, is that they formed a postgrad group, they met, they spoke about all sorts of issues, good, bad, and indifferent. They may have complained about how much work I was giving them to do. Who knows? Who cares? The point is that it helped them move ahead. They even found moments when they would write together, etc. So please form a community. Trust what I'm telling you and help push each other along, okay? Because that's very, very important, particularly in this environment. And check in with each other. Set deadlines with each other. Say we needed to get this done by that time. Do it. Push each other along, all right? The other thing is you need to create time and space for yourself as a postgrad student. This is difficult. And when I say time and space, I mean both a physical space and a mental space. I have a little thing that my dad actually taught me, and it was to pay yourself first. What does that mean? It doesn't mean money. It means pay yourself first in terms of the work you have to get done. So if you need work to be done, pay yourself first. Give yourself half an hour in the morning, an hour in the morning to do some writing, to do some reading, get up early and do it, and then start your day. Trust me, your day feels much better when you've paid yourself first. Okay, that's just a little tip, but I'll tell you, it helps. Even to this day, it helps. Before I start my work, I do some writing, I do some research, it really helps. So form a community, pay yourself first, And last but not least, if you have questions, please ask us. I was trying to tell the undergraduate students this, but I think it is even more important or as important for postgraduate students, because you think you're postgrad, you can figure it out. You don't need to figure it, you don't need to ask, you don't need to engage. No, no, no. It is really even more important to engage with us and ask questions. Any problems you have at all, please come to us. You can ask Fiora, if you're having problems in terms of courses, talk to Robert, procedural matters, etc. And do get in touch with me. In the beginning, I was just joking, but do get in touch with me if you're having any kind of issues at all, because it's important to keep in touch with us. Postgraduate work, like I said, can be very isolating. So you must make contact and keep that contact going. You are doing such an incredible program. I have to say, this is not a program that I look at and say, okay, this is lovely. No, you are about to do work that is needed by the region, nationally, regionally. We need speech language pathologists. So you're doing very, very important work. So all I can say is for now, I'm going to stop. I'm going to wish you the best, because I think, it's going to be great. It's going to be tough sometimes, but it's going to be great. And you have a good team, if I do say so myself, and we want you to succeed. So please form your community, carve out that time and space for yourself. Mark my words, pay yourself first. And finally, ask us how we can help you. So I'll be around as the program goes on. Kiara and Robert have a lovely program for you, a lot of information that might be useful. Okay, so back to you, Kiara, and thank you.
Thank you so much for your words of advice, Prof. And yeah, she's still a very important person. I'm just going to repeat that, okay? Making sure that you know. So at this point, I would like to introduce one of your lecturers for the semester. Well, over the course of the program, the other will join us at some point, and when she joins us, I will introduce her as well. You all would have met her at that meeting we had a couple of weeks ago. She is a four-time alum of the UE, St. Augustine, and one of those four is the master's in SLP. So she was part of that inaugural cohort that we had a few years ago, and she will be lecturing this first semester, your articulation and phonological disorders class. So I am introducing Mrs. Nadia Goodman. And Nadia, say hi, and if you have any words for our students today.
Hi, everybody. I'm usually very, very, very high energy. So this is very strange for me to be very low energy. But strange, but not bad, because it kind of gives you an idea of what your job will entail in 3 years. I'm tired because I've been in the hospital for the whole day, running from patient to meeting, to patient to meeting, to research, to craziness, to wondering what am I doing. And I'm finally home, but all in all, it was a really good day. Very interesting. First time I ever saw a baby with a stroke. So sad, but experience, hence my low energy. But in the semester to come, you will get to know that I'm very extra. So, all right, so welcome. I really hope that I intend to be very supportive. I like what I do, and I hope that that is going to come through in the semester. I know a lot of you guys. I'm seeing a lot of names that I know. So congrats for getting into the program. And I am excited, even though I am tired right now. So I don't know if anybody has like any questions for me or. No? One of those 4 times that I did go to UE, Dr. Hakshaw actually taught me. She taught me French West Indian literature. She's rather revolutionary, if I do remember. Right? So
Nadia was a good student. She was a great student. And yeah, she's full of energy, don't worry. This is as low key as she's gonna ever get, but she was a lovely student. Thank Nadia, you've done well. Well done.
Yes, Nadia has been having quite the day. We were speaking throughout the day about some of the things that she had been working on. And that goes to show the strength in community that, you know, even though Nadia and I did not go to school together, you know, the fact that we are in the same profession, we are colleagues, you know, it helps to have someone on your side, especially if you feel like you're walking into something very familiar. It's not very often that you see babies who've had strokes. So thanks, Nadia. Your other part-time lecturer is here, Miss Fiora Grandison. She will be lecturing neurological bases this semester. This is an area of specialty for her. She might not like me saying that. Her bachelor's degree was actually in neuroscience. So Fiora, if you could just introduce yourself and if you have any words for the students.
I'm Fiora. I'll be teaching one of your Cara, don't laugh. I'll be teaching one of your courses this semester. I don't know, I can't see the names of people who are registered, but congrats to all of you. And I look forward to meeting those of you who I'll be seeing in a couple of weeks.
Yes, so Fiora is another very close colleague of mine. We have worked in the same building for 7 years. So she is also someone who I call on regularly. Fiora, I don't know what to do. Again, the importance of community. You have 19 people in addition to the various lectures you'll have over the course of the program that you can lean on. So I am jealous because I feel like I didn't have 19 people I can call on for support, but you all do. So we really, really strongly encourage you to build that community, as Prof said, so that we can get, so you can get the best out of the program. Okay. So now, which is why we have those cameras on and you all are ready. And please, you all don't get me into the habit of calling people by name. Don't make me do it, okay? So we're asking you all to introduce yourselves in 30 seconds or less. Just at random, start going, because I will start my usual and just call whose other name I see, I will call you. Don't make me do that.
Okay, great. I like to go first so that I could get it out of the way. My name is Michael Roberts. I'm just recently completed the certificate program and I'm looking forward to the master's program. Not looking forward to the work, but I know it's part of the program. So particularly, I have an interest in policy, government policy, but I decided to do the master's program in speech pathology and then figure out where I'm going in terms of policy and looking at that type of approach later on. So welcome everyone. I look forward to meeting everybody else and working with the community, according to Dr. Hakshaw.
Thanks, Michael. Nice to see you.
My pleasure.
So my name is Brittany, and I'm excited to be a part of the program as well. I'm also a bit nervous because I know that it seems like it's a heavy course, but I'm excited to get to know you all and see what it's about and learn. So.
My name is Aaliyah Lawrence, and I am really excited to start. I know that this has not been offered in quite a few years, so I was really happy when they said that they are bringing it this year. So that is my under 30 seconds, and I'm happy, excited to work with everybody, get to know everybody. So yeah, yay.
My name is Kenisha. So I would have done a minor in SLP in, well, I graduated in 2017. I've been waiting forever for the program to start back. And now that it's here, you know, granted I'm a little bit rusty, but I'm excited. The knowledge has gone nowhere. I'm still here, right? So yeah, I'm happy to meet everyone.
Hi everyone. Now my video isn't on, but that's for a really good reason. I'm just not prepared to turn my video on at this point. I graduated with this certificate in speech and language pathology about 100 years ago in 2007. And I teach linguistics, so I have a linguistics background, and I'm just like many of you, been waiting for a very long time for this to be offered again, and I'm very happy to be part of the program.
Hi everyone, I'm Melanie. I'm one of the Tobagonians. I would have completed my bachelor's in speech and language pathology at the University of Arkansas in Little Rock. I did a certificate in early childhood care and education. And just like everyone else, waiting for this amazing master's program to begin. So I look forward to meeting everyone when we do meet in person. And if y'all are in Tobago, you know, say hi, shout me out, send me email. And I am extremely excited, nervous too, but we do look forward to support each other morally, you know, emotionally as well. So that's my 30 seconds.
My name is Monique Pakran. I am seeing a few familiar faces as well from when I was at UWE. Oh, hi, that's one. Happy to see you. So I graduated in 2017 as well, linguistics and the certificate or the minor in SLP. And I'm just happy, just like everyone said, to be, you know, entering this program and just to be meeting everyone, the community, and helping out the wider population. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Tanil Sintue. I remember Monique from 2017. I remember when she was doing her speech therapy electives, same time as I. So, yeah, Monique, I'm very happy to see you. I did my first degree in linguistics with a minor in French and graduated from that in 2013. And then my second degree was in Spanish and I graduated from that in 2017. So I'm nervous about also being rusty, but I'm excited. I'm really, really excited for this. And yeah, good luck to all of us. I'm looking forward to working with all of you.
My name is Shanice Harrigan. I graduated back in 2016. I did, my major was linguistics and I did a minor in Brazilian studies. I've always wanted to be a speech therapist. From the first time I even found out about the profession back when I was maybe 17. So I'm very excited to take this next huge step towards becoming a speech therapist and living out my dream. And I'm very excited for the program. I'm happy it was reintroduced at this time. So yeah, I'm happy to work with all of you all and I'm excited to get started.
My name is Raineylewis, and like everyone else, I am excited to start this course. Highly nervous, very, very nervous, but I'm trying to take everything in stride and hope for the best. And I'm happy I'm seeing everybody because as Dr. the person who spoke in the beginning, I can't remember her name, said we definitely need to support each other during this, you know, doing our masters with everything else that's already going on in the world. Support is paramount. So yeah, nice to meet everybody else, and that's my 50 seconds.
I am Tahirah Charles. I did a bachelor's in linguistics in UWE in 2013. I recently did the certificate in speech and language pathology. I, like a lot of other persons, was waiting a while for that to come back. So I'm really glad that it did. And I'm very excited to start the masters. I'm glad to see some familiar faces, and I hope to meet everyone else that I don't know in person soon. Okay, that's my 30 seconds.
My name is Dominique, linguistics class of 2018. Yeah. That's about it. But yes, I agree, super excited. Always wanted to do speech and cannot wait to dive in. So glad to meet everybody and let's do this thing.
My name is Javon Frank, one of the few Tobagonians around. I've seen some familiar faces. Dominique, I don't know if you remember me. I remember when the program was cancelled, threw me into a little bit of depression there, but we are back now. So I'm looking forward to meeting everyone, looking forward to working with everyone, and let us all please graduate together. So that means you keep me accountable and I will keep you accountable. All right, so looking forward to meeting you guys.
So my name is Priya Samuel, and I have a master's in literatures and English, and I graduated in 2018, and I did my courses, well, certain electives in speech language pathology then. And so when I graduated, I didn't realize, well, I ended up stop pursuing it, though I wanted to. And well, the program was canceled. So it's only this year I start back doing the courses, and I'm so happy that I get to go into the program this year. Because I asked Kiara, I was like, am I supposed to be here? What is this going on? And apparently my laptop is happy with me too, because it already cracked since I pulled my screen up. Or I doesn't want to see my face either. So yeah, that's me.
Hi everyone, my name is Salisha Bash. It's nice to meet everyone. It's nice to see all these familiar faces. I did this certificate in speech language pathology. It was fun. I saw the value in doing the course when I was working at the hospital. I saw a lot of kids who couldn't afford to do these therapy sessions, a lot of families who were affected by it. It was so sad from the age of occurrence, like how Nadia said she met a newborn with stroke. We had a lot of kids come in the hospital who desperately needed therapy, and they just either couldn't afford it, or there wasn't someone close enough to where they live to go to. And it's so nice to see everybody choose to come and do this now. And Michael, you made a good decision. I'm glad you're here. I can't wait to be in class with you. And yeah, that's it.
And my name is Melissa Camacho. I'm familiar with some persons, not everyone. I started off UE actually with a major in French, so I know Dr. Hackshaw. But then after meeting Dr. Drayton, I ended up switching my degrees to a bachelor's in linguistics and a minor in SLP. Hi, Priya. I graduated in 2018, so I'm very glad that the program is back on, and I can't wait.
Hi, everyone. I'm Larissa. I graduated in 2017 with double majors in Spanish and linguistics. And I just finished my certificate in speech, and I'm really excited to finally be able to do the master's.
My name is Tanya. I recently graduated with, literally recently graduated from undergrad with bachelor's in linguistics and minor in speech language pathology, and I literally got lucky. I got lucky to end up signing up for the master's program one time because I was told that it was like a whole cycle thing, like what they were explaining. I'm also one of the Tobago students. Hi, Tobago students. Hi.
My name is Teela Moses. I'm happy to be here. Very excited, very nervous for this program, but I'm glad to see that a big topic among everyone right now is the community and just the support. So I have more of an ease of mind knowing that, we are here for each other. So all the best to everyone. And yeah.
Hello. So I'm Kimberly from Tobago. I graduated in 2018 from UE with a major in linguistics, minor in SLP. I know a few of the faces here as well. Excited to start the program, been waiting since I graduated, even before I did the major, because I was actually looking to do the major in speech and language science, but that wasn't offered. So I'm fitting with the linguistics and the minor in SLP, so excited to do the master's. So that's about it.
Thank you everyone. It's so nice to see all of you again. I know there's some of you who I have not taught. There's some of you I was in class with. But I think I know everybody. I think I know everybody. But it's really nice to see you all, and just like Tahirah just reiterated, communities are important. First of all, community amongst yourselves and understanding that your lecturers, the admin support staff, they're very good at what they do. We are here for you as well. So don't feel like you have to, even if it's all 20 of you, if all 20 of you have a concern, you can come to us. We are here to support you, most definitely. Yeah, so next we get into the meat of the matter. the academic advising, which our wonderful Mr. Robert Baird is going to take over now.
University has implemented some new stuff that you just need to be aware of. So I'm going to share a document with you that's also available on the website. So just to go through with you just a little bit, and if you have any questions, you can ask at the end. This is the student registration instruction guide. You can find it on the internet if you just search registration on the website, in the little toolbox at the top right, and it will come up. There's the one for undergraduate and there's one for postgraduate. This is the one for postgraduate. It goes through the entire registration process for you with little pictures here that you can see. You register in your MySecure area. As some of you may be aware, you log in and then you click the registration process and you continue going. And your key area is your registration map and guide. Once you pull that up, you see exactly what you need to do, all the steps you need to take to register. Right? You see this here, you enter your courses. You have to enter, well, you have no year-long courses, so you don't have to pay attention to that right now. You enter your semester 1 courses and you go through, you look it up, it will be SPLP. That's the course codes that you're looking for, yes? You have 4 courses you need to register for. We'll talk about that in a little bit. 3 courses will be the ones you're attending, and then there will be the practicum course that you also need to register for, which is the SPLP 6001. You go ahead, you make sure that you are web registered. You'll see it here. Everything will show up right in this screen here, showing all the courses for which you have registered. And you'll make sure all your courses are there. And after that, you can drop the course if you need it, but we're not dropping courses in this program. I know that everyone is going to be on task and everything will be going smoothly. So per semester, you look forward to registering for your 3 courses and registering for your practicum course, yes? To remember, there are different sections. When you pull up a course, you'll see sections, yes? We have a new postgraduate GPA scheme coming on scheme, I guess you'll say again, this semester, right? And that section is what you see here, SG1. So whenever you register for a course, if you see different sections come up, you click SG1. That's the section and you know you're in the right place, yes? Remember, this booklet is available on the website, and I'll also email it to you all just, to be on the safe side. It used to be S01, but you're not doing that. So students who are now coming from the undergraduate, they will remember S01 being what you need to register for. But no, it is SG1. Now, there are some of you that have some undergraduate course requirements to meet. So while doing your postgraduate courses, you also need to complete just 1 or 2, or maybe 3 in some instances, undergraduate courses. If you're registering for that as a postgraduate student, registering for an undergraduate course, you need to register in the S02 section. So you'll see that when you pull up your undergraduate course, if it's LING 2006, when you're registering in the section, you register in S02, just to make sure you're in the right place and you're not in the same place with the undergraduate students reading for their degree, their undergraduate degree. It's important when it comes to the end and you're tabulating GPA and everything, only the certain courses need to count. So don't forget that. Regular postgraduate courses, SG1. If you're reading an undergraduate course, S02 is your section. And then you print your fee sheet. But there's also a new step here. There's also the override process, but you can read that if you need to, if you have to request any overrides. I'll stop sharing for now. There's also a new step that you need to do as all students need to do, called fee pay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little video that the bursary has done. Please pay attention. I'll also send you the link to this video, but it's crucial to get financial clearance this semester. It's the system that the university has put in place to monitor how students are paying their fees. And if you don't pay your fees, so some of you may be aware, you get put on a accounts receivable hold, and sometimes it takes a while to come off. And in this online environment, we need access to all the online systems. So we don't want you to lose access, so we want you to pay attention to this step.
Hi friends, my name is Rakaya, and I'm here to introduce you to a new initiative by the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus, FeePay, the automated payment plan process. This new initiative allows you to gain financial clearance in just a few easy steps. So let's get started. FeePay is accessed through My Secure Area. You've chosen your courses and successfully registered for them. You've accessed your fee sheet under the second step in the registration roadmap to enrolling in FeePay. Your next step is to click the link FeePay to enroll in a payment plan. Here you will see details of the accepted online payment methods. So go ahead, select FeePay, and you will be directed to the FeePay enrollment screen. At this point, select Enroll in Payment Plan. This is very important in order to obtain financial clearance. Click on the drop-down menu to select the term for which you are enrolling. Are you a sponsored student or a non-sponsored student? Select the appropriate plan for you. The payment plan schedules payments for both tuition and compulsory fees. Click the Details button for more on the FeePay payment plan that you have selected. This displays due dates, number of payments, and the setup fee. Carefully review the information shown, paying close attention to the payment schedule and the due dates. Then, click the Select button. There are several ways to pay your fees. Paying online allows for your student account to be updated instantaneously. Here, you will be asked if you would like to set up automatic payments. If you select Yes, payments will automatically be deducted from your card before each due date. This is a simple way to ensure your payments are made on time without having to go through the process again. If you select No and would be paying online, remember you would need to log in and make your payment before each due date to maintain financial clearance. Once you have made a selection, click Continue. If you selected Yes, you will be directed to the screen where you will be asked to enter your payment information. It is very important to keep your payment account's information up to date. If your credit card or debit card expires or your account information changes, please log in and update your information to prevent any delays in processing future payments. Once you have entered your payment information, click Continue. You will see the FeePay Payment Agreement. Read each section carefully before you continue to complete enrollment in the plan. Once you're ready, tick I agree to the terms and conditions. Click Continue to finalize the enrollment process. And there you have it. You are now successfully enrolled in FeePay Payment Plan. If you have any questions, please contact the service desk at servicedesk@sta.uwi.edu. From this point, you can return to the home page where you can review the selected FeePay payment plan along with installments or make your payments. Remember, the steps are 1. Select the appropriate payment plan. 2. Review the details of the payment plan. And 3. Agree to the terms and conditions. And there you have it. You're now financially cleared. Remember, select, review, and agree. Bye for now.
So there we have it. That was just a video explaining the FeePay process. Now remember, regardless of whether or not you are paying in installments, you need to enroll in FeePay. So even if you enroll in FeePay and then you pay all of your fees, that is the step you need to take, because if you don't enroll in FeePay, you still end up blocked with a financial hole, I should say. So make sure, regardless of whether or not you're paying in installments or what have you, and even if you're not paying online with a credit card, if you're still going to the bank to make the payments and all of that, you still need to enroll in FeePay. This is a system that all students need to enroll. So just be aware of that. Anybody has any questions about it, I'll ask it now so you can keep it FeePay specific. I know it's a lot, you may not be aware, but if you do have questions now, you can ask, or later you can email me, of course, and I'll help you out.
Good afternoon, Robert. I have a
Hi.
question.
Hi, Melissa.
So what any video is it that we have to pay $35 every semester, or is it that to be taken out of the amenities fee?
No, this is an administrative fee which you need to pay every semester. It's not it's not part of the compulsory fee, and it's not on the amenities fee. It's part of the compulsory fee. So yes, you pay it every semester. It's a $35 administrative fee.
Thank you.
No problem.
So, quick question.
Hi, Javon.
If I do for some reason select the automatic payment option, how easy it is for me to change that option?
I haven't been in the system, but I would imagine it's just as simple as any of those programs. You just need to, she said you need to update your payment information. When you say change, as in remove the automatic payment, or to change your credit card or something like that?
No, to remove the automatic payment.
Well, remember, you do this every semester. So in the next semester, you can remove it. If you want to remove it during the semester, you just log back in and update your information.
Okay, just making sure it wasn't a long drawn out process that I had to go into student bursary and then.
No, everything will be online.
All right, okay, no problem.
Hi,
I have a question. I don't know if I could ask it now. It's relating to fees on a whole.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, so seeing that I just did my certificate, right? I have my caution fee still there, and I want to transfer it over to this program. Do you know how to do that? Seeing that everything is online. I did it before, but everything was in school, so I was able to go and get whatever clearance I needed to get.
You have the receipt, I imagine.
I hope so.
Well, you need the receipt. That's your first step is your receipt, because it will be on your student account that you paid your caution. So when you're submitting your documents, submit that caution receipt. And if the bursary has an issue, they will let you know.
Okay, one other question. So I was in UE. In fact, forget all that. My ID expired like this year at the end of this program that I just did. See, now we're not in school. Do I need to get a new ID? Or do I need to pay for that now?
You need to pay for it now, yes. You need to pay for your ID, and your ID may be very important, particularly in this program's case, because remember, you all are going to be in places not UE. And even when you're on campus, you need your ID to identify yourself. But specifically when you're in hospitals and at clinical practica, you need to have your ID displayed at all times. So the university will work on the whole ID card process, but yeah, you need to pay that ID card fee to Tahirah. Sorry.
I mean, I thought I could have just used my old ID. But
no.
okay.
I could use my old driver's license if it expires to Tahirah.
It technically does not have an expiry date on it. Okay, no problem.
No, but didn't you say it expired?
Yeah, but the new ones, I don't think they have an expiry date on them.
Oh, so you have a really old one? Is it the Smart ID?
I did a program I finished in 2016. So I would have started at like 2014. So I think it's 5 years as last.
I'm not sure. I don't even know if it has an expiry date. I went with what you said.
Yeah, I think, from what I know, I think it would have expired by now. So
Yeah,
that's but I will make sure of that before I pay any fees.
From what I understand, because I have my ID from 2017 and I sent a scan of it to I can't remember who I sent it to, but it was valid. Like there isn't an expiry date the way the old ID cards had an expiry date valid until whatever. This is just so they said it was fine. But make sure and submit a scan of the ID once it's the new one, that is, with your documents, and just let them know that, okay, well, I already have this, and you know, yeah, so and it should be fine.
Yes, I agree. Since it's not expired, we will take that approach. Yes, because typically when you submit your caution refund, you're supposed to return your ID. So, but since you're avoiding that step in the process,
yeah. Once it's the smart chip, it should be fine. Because I still have mine too. And I asked a friend working in industry, and he said it's just for them to activate the chip, and you'll be good to go. We do still, however, have to pay fees. I checked that, and I'm gonna let all y'all.
Yes, they said I said it with confidence because I was certain. Yes.
So I'm using the same ID, but I have to pay the fee for it?
You have to pay the fees. They will charge you the compulsory fees. Those are one of the compulsory fees as a first time in a program.
I don't think so though, because I registered as a specially admitted student last year in September, and because I sent them that scan, because when I graduated in 2017, I went to the bursary and I got my compulsory fees, and I handed back my ID, and the guy told me to keep it. So I was like, okay, cool.
Because I didn't pay for anything.
Yeah, I just so what I did, I sent them a scan and I told them I still have this. I don't see why I have to pay for it again. And the person said, okay, well, since you still have it, then it's fine. And they even though it's still calculated in the compulsory fees, at the actual checkout part of it, I think it's something
it's minus.
Magic and it's minus. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll follow up on that.
Yeah, I think I will contact
We'll
somebody.
see what happens. Yes, sir.
I don't want to end up with a hole at the end of the semester because I didn't pay anything. So I will follow up on that.
Someone was asking about how you submit documents.
Yeah, who do we send the scan
They give the instructions there when you register. They give you a step-by-step process. It's done via an ecourier service. So you go there and you log in, and they tell you put all of your scans into one PDF and you send it via ecourier. The registration process will outline what you need to do. So don't worry about that. I know it's confusing because you don't know what the ecourier is or anything like that, but it's basically a platform that you have to use to deliver your documents to the bursary. So if you're submitting scans, like the ID, that will be the process you go through.
I know we still on fees and everything, but it seems as though I'm a little bit behind here because I feel like I'm not quite sure as to what I'm supposed to be registering for this semester.
I'm going to tell you that now, so thank you for helping me, Kenisha. The courses that you'll be registering for, we'll also send you an email about the courses that you need to register for, but this semester, I'll read the codes for you. It will be SPLP 6016, articulation and phonological disorders, according to Dr. Matthews. I'll also type it in the chat for you all. The next one will be SPLP 6006, which is the one taught by Fiora.
That is neurological basis for communication disorders. I think that's the whole name.
SPLP 6005, taught by Dr. Matthews.
That is diagnostic methods in speech-language pathology.
And then last but certainly not least, SPLP 6001.
Which is clinical practicum 1.
So those are the courses you're doing this semester. Right, so typically...
Another question, sorry.
Go ahead.
I have two prerequisite courses. If they're not offered in the semester that I start, would that hinder me from continuing?
No. You have to complete these courses by the end of your program. So you have the 3 years technically, and Dr. Matthews will tell you, like there are some that she will tell you need to do this semester because it's going to help you later on, you know? So she will be getting in contact with all of you and letting you know, okay, you have this prerequisite course to do, so make sure you register for that this semester. And we'll go forward like that, yeah? And remember, you're registering in what section, Kenisha, you remember?
S02.
Yay! Thank you. So that's it from me, unless anyone has any other questions.
We're getting the timetabling questions now, so should we jump to that?
Yeah, we can.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
It's concerning the firm offer and the fact that our certificates haven't been awarded as yet. What is the last dates we have? Because I think they said in the letter that we can't register unless we get that.
You have until the end of the registration process. I'm not sure why this is taking so long, to be honest. The person in graduate studies has said not to worry about it because the registration process is like 3 to 4 weeks. So you have somewhere until the middle of September. And I know they would have recently wrapped up the summer semester puff in terms of BOE and all of that. So I think it should happen soon.
I can, Robert.
I hope so.
I just think there's a backlog, honestly. It'll come. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Yep.
you.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. And Tahirah.
I have a question, sorry. How soon do we go ahead and register for classes? Is there a time frame? Could we do it tomorrow? Could we
Yeah,
do
you
it
can do
tonight?
it. You can do it from yesterday, actually. But we just wanted you to do it from after you've been to this session. So you can register from now. If you're able to, if you have the firm offer and everything.
In terms of timetabling, so SPLP 6016, which is articulation and phonological disorders with Nadia, is on Mondays from 4 to 7. SPLP 6006 with Fiora, neurological bases, that's on Tuesdays from 5 to 8. SPLP 6005, which is diagnostic methods, that's with me, on Wednesdays, 5 to 8 p.m. I mean, I'm hoping that was implied. Okay, so clinical practicum, we kind of have to jump how we were planning to explain this, but clinical practicum this semester is not in person. We will be hopefully using the SemiCase platform, which is an online platform that at our last meeting, Javon would have brought up, that allows for observations and simulated clinical cases. And because it's to give the representation of how your other clinical practical would be, this course is not taught. There would be videos and materials on My Learning for you to have access to, but assignments will be due midnight of the Sunday of the end of that week. So whenever you can, however you can, you are postgraduate students, and I do not need to be, only because I'm saying your name, Tahirah, sorry. Tahirah, you didn't submit your thing yet. No, Sunday midnight, and then the portal closes. Those of you who know me know that I'm very flexible. If something comes up, hey, Kiara, so-and-so is the case, I can't, I'm having this problem, XYZ, you let me know and we will make accommodations. Yes, Tanil?
I'm not familiar with the program that you said you're using. Could you repeat the program name?
SemiCase, SIMUCASE.
Okay, so that means that the clinical hours that we have this term is not like real-time cases, or right, so these are pre-recorded things, right, then?
So again, it's a little more complicated than that, or a little intricate, let's use that word. So right now, because this is the first time SemiCase is going to be used, our regulatory body has to approve it being counted towards your clinical hours. So the class is going to be set. I'm teaching it, so I won't leave you hanging because I'm also part of the regulatory body, so you're safe. Is that you will have to do observations first, right? Even if you have observation hours before, you will have to count those observation hours through SemiCase. So by the time we get through those observation assignments, by that time I would know if and how many of those simulated hours will be counted. Generally, based on international standard, and the board is aware of this, that 75 clinical hours can be accepted from SemiCase, up to 75. I may not assign 75 to you, but because Trinidad and Tobago, we do have our own regulatory body, they could say, no, not 75, only 25, only 50, and I will adjust the assignments accordingly so that you're not doing too little and you're not doing too much. One of the reasons that we want to do these simulated versions is that, yes, we are under COVID circumstances and we don't know how many clients are even comfortable with having extra people in their space and whatnot, is that you get a sense of what this clinical thing is going to be about. Because I know some of you have been out of these certificates, out of your minor for years and years and years and years. And like, I think it was Kenisha who said, you know, you're rusty. So to kind of get you back into, okay, this is right, I'm supposed to do this, this is how this goes, those kinds of things. And your assignments would be aligned with that. So you would have the videos to watch, the forms to complete. Excuse me. You might have some other like lecture-based, recorded lecture-based assignments. So for example, this is how things work in a private practice. This is the kind of information you would need to know if you're in a hospital. This is how you, to review how we do notes, how you do notes in a clinic versus notes in a hospital, which are very different, by the way. So those types of things you'll get familiar with in this semester. So by next semester, those of you who are going out in person, because I will still keep some of you on campus with me, that you're not going out like, I don't know what I'm doing. You will be very, very confident by the time next semester comes about. So that's why we're going this simulated route. So we will get into the swing of things. I'm not going to throw you in, throw you into the deep, because I know I didn't like when I had to be thrown. It was not fun. And then, COVID, God bless its heart, made this easier for us rather than having to make things a little more complicated, especially with those of you who are working, knowing that we have fewer clinicians in Tobago, but we have 4 students in Tobago. So, just making sure that everyone at least gets a good bulk of their hours up front so that we're not playing catch up 3 years down the road. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you say every week is every week you said Sunday midnight?
Sunday midnight, yeah.
Okay.
So generally outside of when COVID started and my million of technological difficulties, that most of my things are up from the get-go. I have most of my assignments up. So at least I'm trying to, at least for 6001, that as many assignments will be up as early as possible. So that if it is you want to knock out 3 in 1, I'm not stopping you. Would you do that? I don't know. But you have the option of doing that if you want. Because again, I know people's schedules are complicated. A lot of you have not, been able to settle things for the course of the program. It might give you a sense of, okay, if this is what it is now, I know what I need to do next semester, those types of things. And yes, so that's with regard to at least 6001 in terms of timetabling. So you won't have a class meeting time. If it is, we do need to meet, because I will be reviewing the assignments. If at some point I'm starting to get concerned, that will be flagged for Friday evenings, right? Because you have class Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and also teaching on a Thursday. So that leaves Friday as the extra day. But again, I would let you all know maybe a week or so in advance which Friday it would be, if it is we need to meet, or if enough of you have questions and it's just like, Kiara, we're thinking, we could schedule those things. Okay, so that's it for timetabling. Questions around that?
All I have to say is that the time is perfect.
Great. Yeah, so as Robert said, generally for the program, over the course of the program, it's 3 courses plus practicum, with 1 or 2 semesters being 2 courses in practicum. Yeah, I think
maybe there are 2 semesters where it's 2 courses on Practicum, but generally it's 3 courses on Practicum. With those 2 courses being later down so that people would have more time to catch up on hours if you're running short.
I have a question about the Practicum timetabling. So when it is that the actual in-person sessions take place, will we have a choice as to when they can fall, what with work and whatnot?
Theoretically speaking, yes. Let me put it that way. Your practicum is based on when your supervisor works. So if your supervisor works Monday to Friday, and let's say they are one of the few speech therapists in the country who works 8 to 4 Monday to Friday. Let's say if you can do Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, please do. The more hours, the better, right? If you can. There are some people, because of how they work privately, they need a weekday to go do their errands and pay bills and all these things. Then you would work you will go those 4 days. My suggestion, this is not mandatory, but you'll remember what I said when we did the math last time. If you go 1 day for 3 hours, you will not make enough clinical hours. You won't. Even if you go all through the summer, you would not make the amount of hours. So my recommendation is a minimum of 2 days a week, half day. That's my recommendation. So however your supervisor works at the time, minimum. Best practice, go every day, whole day, if you can. I know a lot of people are still working. A lot of you will be shifting out of work into more student mode later on. We do have things in place to help you make up those hours. So for example, when I say in campus, I mean on clinic and the SLP clinic with me. And for the time being, that is online. So you will be doing teletherapy sessions with me. But again, I have clinic hours at set times. So if you're with me, you'll be doing clinic hours at those set times. So that's why I said it's in theory, yes, you can choose, but you would realize sooner than later, just do all. Yeah. And that's for when you have to do in person. Also keeping in mind with COVID, if these restrictions persist, people have changed their hours and people have spread out their time. So if you go 8 to 4, while that is an 8-hour workday, you may only see like 5 clients. And you only get to count those 5 client hours or half hours, depending on how your supervisor works. If they work in hour-long shifts, hour-long sessions, or half an hour-long sessions. But again, I will explain all that in clinical practicum, so don't worry about it yet. Okay. So Robert, was that everything from you, or can I go ahead to the placement questionnaire?
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay. So in terms of the placement questionnaire, so we're going to send out those questionnaires that it's going to ask, basically going to map your business. But it's very important because I would need to know where you live, where you work, because I would want to make things as convenient for you as possible. So if it is you happen to work next door to a speech therapist, then I'm gonna try to get you there, right? For example, those of you in Tobago, you all will get the first preference for the clinicians and the placements in Tobago. And if it is, I need to drag one of you to Trinidad, I'm gonna let you know maybe a semester in advance so that you can sort your lives out, those types of things. Would need to know things like, do you have access to a car or a driver? Do you drive? If you live in Chagaramas, are you willing to go to Icacos? You know, do you have a guest house in Tobago so that I can send you to Tobago? You know, those, if you want to go, and Melanie is inviting people, maybe if you want to go and chill by Melanie for a semester, are you willing to do that? Can you do that? So those are the types of things that I would need to know so that we can get you as situated as possible. Yes, not in the questionnaire, but eventually I would like to help people lean towards their preferences. So if you would prefer to work with children or prefer to work with adults or prefer to work with the deaf and hard of hearing, I will help. But everybody sees everything, so you'll be fine. One thing I would say is that medical placements are extremely limited. So not everyone will get to go into like a hospital. What I am, and I'm whispering this to Prof, what we are working on is a MOU, an mutual understanding with the Southwest Regional Health Authority so that I can get as many of you there as possible, even if it's for a week, just to, hey, this is what it's like to work in a hospital, right, Prof? Yeah, okay. So that you at least have a sense of what that's like. Because like Salisha said, we really do need a lot of people in the public sector, particularly in the hospitals and the schools. We don't have any SLPs in the schools. So the same way the ministry would assign a counselor or assign a special ed teacher to different schools, we want to work towards having a speech therapist assigned to those schools as well. So we're hoping to get all those things going so that by the time you all graduate, it doesn't matter where you go to work because you've experienced it all. Okay. So that's what the placement questionnaire is about. We're just trying to get a sense of where you live, where you work, how far you're willing to go, those types of things. Any questions about that?
Hi, Kiara. Just in case you did not see my message, I really want to work.
I saw it. I'll write that down.
Yeah, I didn't know people could get dibs on anything. I didn't know that. What kind of program are you running here, Kiara?
I said I will write it down. I'll write.
Is this?
All right. I'll just write it.
I will have to meet Dominique at some point.
I'm excited.
Great. I'm happy. All right. So moving on to some more expanded things about your clinical practicum. Like I said, it's 400 hours, which not easy to accrue, depending on your own personal schedule. So one of the things that is going to be worked into the program is something called diagnostic teams and screening teams. Those I've already set, so those are presets. You have your diagnostic teams and your screening teams set already, and there are about 4 people per team. And only because of convenience, only the Tobago people are in the same team. That's only because of convenience. So they will both be in that same diagnostic team and the same screening team. Those of you in Trinidad, nope. So your diagnostic team will be one set and your screening team will be another set. So what a diagnostic team is that once a semester, I may have to stagger it depending on how things flow into the UE clinic, that your team would be responsible for doing an in-depth evaluation. So when you go to your practicum, or even when you use SemiCase, you'd see that an evaluation can be done in about an hour and a half. But for these, you will be doing in-depth, full evaluation. So when I did my diagnostic teams, an evaluation sometimes took 3 to 4 hours, and sometimes we had to do 3 hours one day, 3 hours another day. And that helps building your hours. So you get to count the full 3. And the reason why you're in a team, my attention span to evaluate one child is not 3 hours, no. And each part is going to require multiple eyes, multiple types of analysis to make sure that we get that in-depth analysis. So comparatively, if you know anyone who has done a psychoed evaluation, you know that takes about 6 to 10 weeks because it's one person trying to do all of those things. So that's why you're in a team, so that we can get as many things done. The family, the child, the adult, the person is not overwhelmed, and you all are not overwhelmed while building, accruing as many evaluation hours as possible. Your screening team, screening also fall under the type of clinical hours that you get. So we'll be doing speech and language screenings. COVID pending, we'll be doing feeding and swallowing screenings, and we'll be doing hearing screenings. But we have to wait on an audiologist to come and train you all to do those hearing screenings. So hearing screenings do fall within the scope of hearing screenings. Let me underline. Hearing screenings are in the scope of a speech language pathologist, and that counts towards your clinical hours as well. So once we have those teams, I have been told by the very helpful team at PEDIC that they will assist us in getting people into the clinic who would need screenings, especially people who require their more in-depth services. So it won't be that you all have to go out and find these people. The university will source these people for us to do these diagnoses and screenings. And that will fall under, so regardless of which practica you're enrolled in, it's going to count towards your hours. So if you don't get to do one next semester and you have to wait till January 2023, whatever practica you're enrolled in at that point, it will count towards that one. Okay? Any questions? No? Okay. So
hold on. Just for verification's sake, all this is online, right?
No, those will be, some of the screenings will be in person. Some of the diagnostic teams will be in person. We will organize for today. Don't worry.
Okay, no problem.
Yes. We have people on the ground there helping us source over there as well. Right, Robert?
Yes, we do.
Yes. So don't worry. Don't worry. It will happen. Right? So if it is that but if it is that when we are calculating your hours through over the 3 years, you're realizing, hey, I'm falling short here, hey, I'm falling short there, your diagnostic team or your screening team can request more. Okay? You can, hey, 3 people in my team, we don't have enough hours because our practicum sites don't have enough of this. Sure, we can make it happen. Okay. There will be a breakdown available to you soon about the minimum requirement hours. So there will be a minimum of 50 evaluation hours that you would need. A minimum of 10 screening hours, those types of things. So you'll get a breakdown so that me as your program coordinator, and Robert is my very wonderful Robert, will be helping us go through your forms per semester and seeing where you may or may not be falling short. And that will also inform us as to where we may need to place you. So if it is we're not seeing, you're falling short on evaluation hours, I might say, okay, diagnostic team 2, we need to get you to evaluate 2 more sessions this semester, those types of things. So we will keep an eye on it. You will keep an eye on it and flag it to us, because you might notice it before we do, and we might be able to get you something before the semester is out, during the summer, over the Christmas break, something like that to help you all out. So please also keep an eye on it, and please keep a record of it. We will keep a record. You will keep a record. Everybody keeps a record. So nobody is emailing me in 2025 about forms. Okay. Yes, just okay. Right. So this is where we really need COVID to go away, but we are putting things in place to have in-person labs for some of your courses. This semester, SPLP 6005, which is diagnostic methods with me, there will be at least, well, maybe 2 to 3 in-person labs. And that is because I need you to touch, feel, use, manipulate, flip, throw down, pick up the materials that we use to do diagnoses. Yes, there are online tests. It's better to use the in-person on hands-on tests. And you need to get familiar with that, especially as this course is first semester. If it is you do not get familiar with the test now, and then you end up having to go in person next semester, and you're like, I've never touched a PLS before, you learn what a PLS is. You're going to run into some problems. So we are hoping to schedule at least 3 in-person labs on Saturdays. That will give you, if you have to work, hopefully you don't work on a Saturday. People from Tobago, if give you time to come, those types of things. So we're looking at the 2nd of October, the 30th of October, and the 27th of November. Those are the tentative dates. And that is part of the course. It's not a suggestion, it's not highly recommended. It's part of the course because it's such an integral part of just being a clinician and the whole understanding what the tests look like, how the tests work, how you have to use the, they're called manipulatives, how you have to use the manipulatives in order to elicit what you need to get. So again, all COVID protocols will be observed, but it's really important that you all are aware that these things will happen. Moving forward, even if and on the occasion that your courses remain online, there will be other in-person labs for different courses. So for example, when you do voice disorders, or maybe, well, voice disorders and dysphagia, which I think are in the same semester. They may not be, but they might be in the same semester. You have to understand what scoping is. So that's when you take the little camera, pass it through the person's nose, and look into their vocal tract. You'd have to see that. Some of you may be fortunate to be able to physically do it. And I say some of you because when it was my turn for the course, I did not physically get to do it. I had to learn how to do it after. But the idea is that those are the types of things you will need to see. When we are doing the AAC course, Augmentative and Alternative Communication, there are some tools and some things you need to touch, you need to hold. Can my client use this? You can't, it's not something you can, oh, well, yeah, maybe. No, you need to, is this too firm? Is this too soft? As if your client has Parkinson's or cerebral palsy, you need to understand what these things actually are and what they do. So that will require us to have some in-person labs regardless. And that will be throughout the program. So there will be different courses that will require some in-person things, even if the lectures remain online. Questions?
Kiara, for these Saturdays, is it up? I didn't hear exactly what he said. Is it a particular time or is it like a whole day, something?
It will be a couple hours. A couple hours. I'm not gonna do it for the whole day. Given whatever, advice we're given in terms of numbers at that time, it will be 20 of you and me, 21, which is a big number. So I may have to do it in groups. So I may have to do 5 people from 9 to 11, 5 people from 12 to 2, you know, depending. We don't know yet, right? So once we get some more information on that, then that will be put forward. But that is the hope, not the hope, the intention is that every, that's a tricky question you just asked me, Tanya. Everybody has to do it.
Okay.
No?
Sorry, I had a question. Dr. Matthews, with the Tobagonians, yes, we have to come to Trinidad on those dates. No, we're not sure about the time, but I think you all will also have to give us letters to travel, because recently, of course, they're not allowing non-essentials to really travel like that. So you'll have to give us letters. And if you can give us times too, because bookings are extremely hard. So if you could get us fit in, that would be awesome. So we could just make some arrangements. Yeah. Translate. Yeah. Thanks a million.
Not a problem. Yes, Dominique?
Hi, so doing that community thing we talk about, right? I work at Caribbean Airlines. I can book your flights for you, and all you guys have to go and do is pay. Right now, we only have 3 flights per day. So yes, you should book as far in advance as you can. If you can't, don't worry. You can do the standby option, and we do have room right now for passengers. The letter helps. They don't really ask, if I'm being real honest, but having it will definitely give you priority if you have to go standby. But don't worry, you all have an insight. I'll help.
Nice. Okay. See, this is great. This is great. Robert, you want to check in about the halls here before I answer Tanya?
Yeah, no problem. You'll be only using Dominique if you come in Trinidad for school, for UE. And I'm playing that on you. I might use Dominique, you know, when I try to go to Tobago.
I need to see Dominique.
That's what I'm saying. We need to meet Dominique on special treatment, so she gives special treatment as well, you know. Caribbean Airlines flights. But for those students in Tobago, if you need somewhere to stay, we can attempt to accommodate you on the halls of residence. The only hall of residence really you will be able to stay on right now is Sir Arthur Lewis Hall of Residence, and somewhat connected to I think it was Tanya's question. There is a vaccination requirement to stay on the hall of residence. So if you're coming from Tobago and you want to stay on a hall of residence, of course there's a fee attached to staying on the hall and everything, yes, but you need to, Melanie, how you looking surprised that there's a fee that's staying on the hall for free?
So no, because, you know, I just think, you know, Tobago students are always sometimes at a disadvantage, you know, even if you'll cancel a class, we have to pay a $50 fine fee. So Caribbean should, you know, waiver these things for us too. But you know, once I can get on that last flight to come back home, I'll be fine.
You actually get a free change wave fee with your UEI. And that goes for all flights.
Listen,
we really need that ID as well. Is that staff ID as well?
I think so. I think once you have a UV ID, it works.
I will be
okay, so we really need those IDs like ASAP.
You see? So yes, so if you need to stay on a hall, if you want to stay overnight or what have you, if it's Saturday and you're coming on the Friday before, depending on what group you're in, you can message me, email me, and we'll try to set it up for you to stay on hall. Sir Arthur Lewis Hall is on St. John's Road. It's, I would say, a 10-minute walk from campus. Uphill. So much. A hill, yes. So you get exercise and you come to your lab. So keep that in mind, Tobago students. Go ahead, Kiara.
Yes. So following up on that, on Tanya's question, as long as vaccination is not mandated by the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, I believe the answer to that is no. However, private clinicians can put in that requirement for their private practices because we do see immunocompromised people on a regular. So that It depends. That's my answer. It depends. Yeah, I know if you're going into public spaces like a public hospital, there's no requirement there. But private, what I am aware of is that some families who have home visits would only prefer if their clinicians are vaccinated. At that point, your supervisor, being responsible for you, may just ask you not to attend that session if you are not vaccinated and the family requests that. And that's the best I can answer that question for now. Okay. So
I could just add, yeah, the university is guided by the government policy. So that's why we have to be very careful about asking whether you're vaccinated or not. So it's a very delicate question right now. Robert is right for the halls. I do believe the campus sent out something that's saying you had to be vaccinated. But other than that, the university is guided by government policy. Private practice, I imagine, would be something else. Yeah, but that's the position right now, sort of mid-Atlantic. Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Prof. Where are we? Okay. So yes, Monique.
For the timetable, the registration timetable, I had a look at it, and I'm seeing in terms of the teaching dates, I think it's until the 21st, September 6th to November 22nd in some instances. Is that when teaching ends, or is that when we get into exam mode? I just wanted to kind of clarify that a bit.
Yes, the timetable will show the teaching schedule. So it will be like weeks 1 to 13, and that's what it will show on the timetable. That's what those dates mean.
So teaching ends that week?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. All right. Thank you.
So if teaching ends on the week of the 22nd, the 27th of November would be fill in the blank. I'm not going to answer that.
Got it.
Right. Hint. Okay. Right. So very, 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 very important. If you forget anything else I see, listen to these next 2 points. You will have two very important, well, one is a resource and one is for your own professional self. One, Robert and I are working on a manual for you. And in that manual would have all the protocols, all the safety, everything, all the forms, or the clinical hours, or the everything. Excuse me. Right? Yes, so that form will have all of those things in it, all the procedures. So if it is you can't reach me or Robert or Janelle or anybody for any reason, it's in there. I promise, right? If something does not make sense in there, sure, we can follow up. But those forms, especially the forms are very important. So this is where the forms become important. So now you have your clinical portfolio. And in your clinical portfolio, you would have different items. And we will explain, particularly once I get started in clinical practicum, how to set up your portfolio. So I have mine from grad school here. It's kind of empty because I'm using most of my things to teach you all. See how helpful it comes in. Something fell, I'm sorry. I have my clinical portfolio here with a lot of the work that I did in grad school. And it will have like where your placements are. I went to Boston University, so ignore that on top. And then you would have different sections for your clinical practicum. So you will have a section with the code of ethics that you're expected to develop, those skills and ethical codes that you're supposed to develop as a clinician, your scope of practice, so what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, what your supervisor is allowed to do, what your supervisor is not allowed to do. You would have your clock hour requirements in here as well, just as a reminder. So those clock hour requirements will be in your manual and in your portfolio. I know it's very blurry, but this is just so that I keep on track with what I'm describing to you. And each semester, you will have semester reflections to do on your practicum. And those semester reflections are for your own development. Now, would I be grading them? No. If they're not there, it counts as you missing a component for your grade, and that affects your GPA. So just keep that in mind. It's very important because a non-reflective clinician is not a clinician. You need to be reflective. What went wrong? What was it that my life was out of sync this semester? Did I not enjoy this type of placement? Did I think I would enjoy it? Did I enjoy it more than I thought I would? It helps you frame your own development as a clinician, right? And bring those, it will go in here. You won't have access to the full thing, but at the end of your semesters, you will have an oral presentation to do with me, probably Robert, and one other member of faculty who may or may not be an SLP, right? And that's the point. How are you presenting yourself as a clinician at the end of this, this experience? So I take that back. The only time you won't have an end of semester oral presentation is this one for clinical practicum, because it's all online and it's all virtual and none of the clients are real. So, right, that's the only time you will have a semester reflection to write, but you won't have oral presentation to do. There will be a section to put in your clock hours and skills. So in your manual, you will see a form that has your clinical hours for the day, the week. However, you end up logging it because of how often or not you attend. You also put that in your portfolio. Yes, you can fill it out online, but at the end of the entire program, I need to see a physical copy. Yes, keep it online, scan it, do all those things, but there should be a physical copy somewhere, because there have been it happened to me once locally where someone asked me to see it. An employer asked to see, what have you done? And I fortunately had mine on me. So it's just so that you have it. You may not need to keep it as long as you have it soft copy somewhere. That's great, and you decide to print it at a later date. And in each section for each of your practica, you would put in your supervisor evaluation forms. So at midterm and at end of term, you, me, and your supervisor, will sit down and have a discussion, probably virtually, about your progress, how things are going. Maybe your supervisor might say, I don't think she's or he is grasping. Let me put a plug right there. We have no male speech therapists in the country, Javon and Michael, just saying, none at all. Okay. Those will also go in with your reflections and whatnot. So you'll get one at midterm and one at the end of term so that we know how you're progressing. This really comes in handy, particularly if you're struggling. That will help us flag to know, okay, is this a situation where we need to pull you out of that practicum? Is this a situation where, and it has happened, I can't speak for locally, but internationally, where your supervisor is violating something and I don't feel comfortable as your educator to leave you in that situation. So there will be check-ins at some points, and all that will go into this portfolio so that at least we can keep a record of how your clinical practicum have been developing, so that once we start looking at those final hours, we know what's going on. Something to make a note of. If you fail a practicum experience, because you can't fail practicum experiences, none of those hours count towards your 400 hours. Okay? And that's just international standard. That's not Fiora, that's not the OTSLP board, that is the rule. If you fail a clinical practicum experience, none of those hours count. What we can do to help you along is that if you do fail an experience, there is something called a limited practicum experience. So generally, when you get your course outlines, you would see that your practicum course is, say, 100 hours. You may not get 100 hours. It just, life things, people cancel, your supervisor gets sick, something happens. But a limited practicum experience is when you get 40 hours or less, specifically with the intention of not crossing 40. So if it is, you go to this placement and you're going for 3 weeks and you're going every day for 3 weeks so that you get those hours in, those are possible as well. So it's not that you let's say you go and you work with Nadia in Southwest Regional and you accrued 200 hours, because Nadia works a lot, and you get 200 hours and you fail that, that's half the requirement you're just missing. We are going to help you along. We're not going to be like, oh, well, hard luck's too bad for you. No. We care about you. We want you to do well, so we will put things in place. So I am asking 2 things. 1, don't fail. 2, if you do fail, please make yourself available for these limited practicum. Okay, please.
Fiora.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were finished. How do you feel a practicum experience? I don't understand.
So what I have not experienced, but what I have seen, both in our last program and in with some of my classmates, is that the skills that are needed, you just don't show it. So again, in the manual, you will see how the form is written out. So there are things like, let me look at it. Things like professional and personal qualities. So you're upholding the ethical standards, you're following policies and procedures, you dress professionally. Intrapersonal skills, you are responsible and self-critiquing, and you're doing that accurately and insightfully. I am sorry, if I ask you, how could this be done better? And you told me, no, I do a great job. I don't think any speech therapist practicing like 40 years, 2 years, nobody's ever going to tell you that. So if you as a student really feel you that good, I mean, it might be that good, but you know, something like I didn't feel as confident, or maybe if I tried this, you know, those types of things can, if it accumulates and we see that, okay, by midterm, we're not getting anywhere, then we're going to have to put things in place to make sure that you get somewhere. So they will be on a scale. So let's say at midterm, your supervisor gives you 3s across the board. Let's say it's on 1 to 5 and they give you 3s across the board. And then at end of term, they come and give you 1s. That's not good. That's not good. But that is why we have these meetings, because we don't want to risk bias, right? We don't, maybe you and your supervisor had a falling out. There have been times where that has happened and supervisors have been unprofessional. And then the liaison has to step in and evaluate the situation. So, you know, there are different things that weight how you may or may not feel it. There have been times where things are going great and then the student just stops going to practicum, doesn't say anything to the supervisor, doesn't say anything to the lecturer. That's a failed practicum, right? So there are different ways in which that could happen. And again, it is subjective. I'm aware that it's subjective because there are some supervisors who may be like, yeah, that's fine. And then you have some supervisors who may be very critical. Those of us who work with extremely medically sensitive cases, we tend to be a little more harsh because at that point, somebody's life depends on it. You know, it's real. You know, if it is that you didn't get little Johnny to say ball today, that's fine. You know, but if every time you try to help Mr. Philip eat, he's choking and gagging and getting pneumonia, that's not so great, right? So it's those types of things that would weight passing or failing a practicum. Yeah. What else for the portfolio? Yes. So in your portfolio as well, what is probably not mandatory, but highly recommended for your own sake are probably some work samples, which, like I said, worked out for me when I was interviewed. So an example of a report you wrote, an example of some handouts you created, an example of a template for a webinar, I need to mention that. That you did, obviously de-identify because you don't want to have the client's information out there in the open, but those types of things. So your portfolio will be labeled. There will be things that you would need to include in your portfolio, and you are expected to have it at least fully hard copy at the end of the program. But once our meetings are online, virtual is fine. Webinars. When this is not finalized, but educational webinars do count towards clinical hours. So, meaning if you, not me or your lecturer or Professor Walcott Hackshaw or Robert, you all, the students, create and do webinars for the University of the West Indies or through the University of the West Indies, that counts as clinical hours and makes my work a little easier, right? So the plan is not this semester, because obviously not this semester, is that at the end of each semester, you would be randomly selected to present a webinar on the content of one of the courses that you did. So whether it's AAC, voice, dysphagia, stuttering, neurological disorders, those types of things, and that will be presented on behalf of the university to the public, and only the hours of the webinar would be counted. You will be planning and planning and planning and planning and planning. Those are not counted. Just the hours that the webinar is presented. So if it's an hour-long webinar, it's 1 hour. 3-hour-long webinar, 3 hours. If you want to, if it works out that it can be done workshop style, that will be counted as well. Okay, and that will fall. It's not part of the class assignment. Let me specify that. So let's say next semester, when you have language disorders in children, those of you who have to present that webinar, the webinar is not part of that coursework. Okay, It's part of your practicum, but it's based on what you would have learned during the semester. So pay attention to your assignments, because your assignments will inform those webinars. Yes? Robert, you want to take over with library?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So just some brief information for you all on the library. You know, as postgraduate students, the library is going to be a big part of your life. And we just wanted at this time to encourage you to check out the library. Right now, things are all virtual, as you know, but once we've started back, make use of the library. I know last year, even during the pandemic, they had pick up and drop off services available for you all to use. They may restart that this semester. It depends on, you know, what the Prime Minister says and what regulations are in place. But at this point, there are many online resources for you to use, online academic resources. Kiara doesn't want to see a Google reference as a citation. She wants to see...
I can't grade Google, okay? I cannot grade Google.
She wants to see scholarly academic resources being used. And just a quick little tip as well. Remember, a lot of the resources for this field of study will also be in the medical sciences library. So don't only just use the Alma Jordan Library, which is located on campus, right next to the DMLL actually, but also remember to check the medical sciences library as well, which will have a ton of information for you on your various topics. Anything else you want to add, Kiara, to that part?
As a postgrad student, the library is your friend. The library is your friend. The library is your friend. I don't know how to stress that anymore. Yes, you can Google a lot of things. Yes, Google will help you, but we cannot fact check Google. And we cannot verify Google. And the level, this is not undergrad. Some of you, I know a couple of people in here have masters already, so you're already aware of the level of writing and the level of work that would be expected of you. There are things, I'm an easy grader, you all know that, for undergrad. Okay. Okay. There are things that just won't fly, particularly when it comes to clinical things, particularly when you're coming to rationalize why a particular treatment or why a particular diagnosis. We see every day the conflicting things that even going on with this vaccine. So regardless of what side of the podium you stand on, everything is clashing. So you need to come with valid, fact-checked, academic, scholarly, high quality information, because people's lives are at stake. And if it is that you develop a propensity for just Googling, that means anybody could Google and be a speech therapist. They're not paying the money you're paying to become a speech therapist. They're not going to be licensed the way you will be. They're not going to be regulated the way you will be. You need to know these things intimately. You need to know why you would use, for example, melodic intonation therapy with someone who had an MCA stroke and not someone who had a PCA stroke. Why it won't work with a PCA stroke. And why it might sound like it will work for a right hemisphere stroke, but it might actually be counterintuitive depending on if it's a frontal lobe stroke or parietal lobe stroke. Can anybody answer that? And I can bet you can't Google it either. Okay? So those are the kinds of things that you're going to need to know like now, and it's going to have to be in your brain. So please Please become friends with the libraries plural. MedSci Library would be your best friend. When I started those of you who know I started my bachelor's here at UE, I started in the bachelor's in speech and hearing science. And we had a couple of courses over at MedSci. And I would wander over into the library. I was like, oh my God, why is this here? Why is this not over where we need it? Because the doctors need it. And if you're working alongside doctors. So outside of me, no speech therapists carry the title of doctor, right? The speech therapy title of doctor. We have some speech therapists who have PhDs. That's very different. So when they hear your Miss Puckering and Mr. Frank, they're gonna try to invalidate you. But you know as much of them. I had to put an ENT in place today asking me about stroboscopy and if I know about that. Like, excuse me? Yes, I do. And I know as much as you do, if not more, because I am a highly specialized, highly trained, highly qualified professional. And that's what all of you are going to be. And Google is not going to do that. I'm getting a little serious here because I got really annoyed. I'm sorry. It's just, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. So I really, really, really need you all to be on top of your academic and scholarly game. Pretty pleased with sugar on top. Thank you. Go ahead, Robert.
Lovely. So it's 7 o'clock. So as we move on to the close, we know you're not here with us, but we did want to introduce you just to see some faces that you would be seeing soon when campus reopens. Hopefully that's sooner rather than later. Introduce you to some faces, you get to know everyone. That's important. Yes, my screen is sharing. So we have the postgraduate program coordinators that you should get accustomed to. You've met Prof. Hackshaw and you know Dr. Matthews as well. We have the Spanish postgraduate coordinator here. Some of you may know him from when you all were here. And we have the linguistics postgraduate coordinator. Some of you may know her from when you were here. A lot of you have a linguistics background, so you'll remember Dr. Evans. She teaches a few of the core courses for the program. We have the administrative team that you would have known and would get to know soon. Fingers crossed, everyone, and we must come out of it eventually. We have yours truly at the top left here. Key people to remember is our administrative assistant, Janelle Francois. If I can't deal with an issue, she's the level up. You know, if you ever work customer service, they kind of escalate. If you need to escalate a problem solving, we go to Janelle. And if you ever can't get on to the head of department, which rarely happens, you go to Safia Shakir right here. So those are some key persons that will help you out throughout your 3-year time with us. We have their contact information here, their email addresses. Don't worry, again, I'll be sending this to you all. This is just the key contact information. Email is what we work with right now. When school opens, I know, I'll be getting a knock on my door on campus, as I do with the postgraduate students. For the fee pay issue, I know a lot of people had issues, maybe questions about that. The person really to contact would be Mrs. Caroline Gooding. Her email address is here. That's if you have any student and receivable issues that you need resolved. And you will do that after maybe contacting me first and seeing if I can't help you. She's an extreme escalation of an issue. And then, of course, the FHE librarian is Dr. Karen Eccles at the bottom here. So if you have any questions about the library and resources and what's available to you, please contact Dr. Eccles. She's really lovely and she'll be willing to help you at all times, yes? So I'll send this out to you, but that's basically just a brief rundown of your key contact information and your department, where you'll be home, we'll be home for a while. And then as a student, we know things can be a bit rough at times. So we wanted to let you know that there are many student support services available to you. the first place you can check out is the Division of Student Services and Development. You can check them out at our website, sta.uwi.edu. The DSSD has many services available. Key things that you should take note of are the academic support and counseling and psychological services. Now, I should say that should have been the one I said first, because I think we mentioned this the last time. Things can get a little bit rough and hectic during this program in postgrad life. And as a student of the University of the West Indies, these services are available to you. And they're done virtually now during the COVID period. And when we're out on campus, you have an appointment and you go and you see a professional to help you with any issues. You can go and cry to Kiara. She'll be there and she will listen to you, I'm sure. But if you feel like you need and well, you can come and cry to me too. That has happened. But if you feel like you need professional help and you're sinking, try not to wait until you can't breathe, you know? Mental issues often sneak up on you. Try to recognize warnings early and visit our counseling services, and they'll be glad to help you. They also provide financial advice and all the list is here. So anything you need, you go to the DSSD and they'll be very glad to help you. If you have any academic, if you have any learning disability as well, you go to the DSSD, the Student Life and Development Unit. They help you. So people who are, well, you all know learning disabilities better than I. So you know what I'm talking about. Student clubs and societies. We haven't had this program offered in a while, and we want to encourage all of you to get excited. We know it's a heavy course load, but we want you to be involved. And one way of doing that is forming clubs. Now, if you would notice in all the little clubs we have here, do we see an SLP? No, we don't. So I think that means it falls on you to form a SLP club, get involved in the community, do outreach. We also have our certificate program in SLP, so you can get involved with them as well. And you'll have your projects and you'll look up the international days for whatever disorders you have and always have something going on. And it really does help, and it helps build a community. And we want to see you all get excited with that. You could contact the guild, and there are lots of funds and stuff available from the guild once you become a recognized club, that they can also help you promote your events and just increase your outreach efforts. So please, you all, form a little club, get excited, do something if you can. Yes, don't take on more than you can, of course. But now we have as well the student staff liaison committee, SSLC. So what will happen basically in your first week of, or maybe the second week of classes, Dr. Matthews will ask you to select 2 student representatives. Yes? Because the purpose of the SSLC, it, as you can see here, provides a forum for students to discuss matters arising from courses and report on their experiences and concerns regarding their teaching, and the learning programs. So if you have any issues that you feel aren't getting addressed, you can go to your student representative that you've selected, and they then bring it to the student staff liaison committee. The deputy dean, who's Dr. Freddie James, will convene this committee, in which all the postgraduate programs in the faculty, all of their representatives come and they address issues, they report on the program. You can say stuff you liked as well. It doesn't all have to be negative. Positive feedback is always welcome, so we know what we're doing well. And negative feedback, I would suggest you try to deal with anything negative with Dr. Matthews or your lecturer or the head in the first instance. But if you feel like if stuff isn't getting addressed and resolved, please report it to the student staff liaison committee. These documents reach all the way up to the deputy principal, I believe. So whenever you have an issue, there have been moments when the deputy principal calls and asks about an SSLC committee meeting that happened, last semester. They wanted to address. So this is an important mechanism that the university uses to ensure quality. So please utilize it, everyone. And last but certainly not least, we have the writing center. Kiara also has issues with badly written projects. So not just citations, but the Writing Center helps you with grammar, formality, structure, and documentation. They aren't going to grade your assignments for you, but you can take them, a piece of writing that you've had that's, let's say, already been graded, and they can look at it and they will tell you, listen, this didn't look good. You need to work on your structure. You need to work on how you're documenting your information. They will give you feedback, and it's really very helpful. They have what we call writing coaches, technical coaches that can help you. And throughout, it's free. You utilize it, and it's wonderful. You can access it through your My eLearning portal, or you can email them, or you can visit them on Facebook. This is the website, or you can, but the best way to do it is to access it through My eLearning. You will see it in the corner, in the left-hand side, the Writing Center. Click on it, book an appointment, and experience all that we have to offer. So that's it for me for services. Kiara, you want to wrap up?
Yes.
Oh, should I ask if there were questions?
Thing?
Sorry, I did rush past that part. Anyone has questions?
Yeah, one question about the fees before you go. The compulsory fees, I wanted to know if it was yearly or if it's every semester.
Compulsory fees are charged by semester.
So every semester we had to pay amenities and guild and accent and emojis.
It usually is broken up over the course of the 2 semesters, like whatever is due, but you can pay it all up front. It won't be charged again. Does that make sense?
Okay, so the total
won't be the same. Typically, so like if you're a new student and you pay.
Okay, so the total.
I should take that back. Some fees are charged by semester and some are charged yearly. But it tells you. So I think the amenities fee, which is a compulsory fee, used to be charged by semester, not every semester. But the guild fee, I believe is one of them. I can't remember them off the top of my head, will come out in the first semester only. So it's not going to be the same amount. The second semester is usually much less.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Monique, you had a question?
Yeah, just a quick one. In terms of the oral presentation and exams, I know we're in a fluid situation in terms of COVID, right? But do we anticipate that they're going to be in person, or do you think that they're going to be online?
They'll be online.
Okay.
They'll be online.
Thanks.
Just before we take any more questions, just something I want to say as well. In terms of feedback with regards to your practicum, yes, there will be these midterm and end of semester things, but there will also be an opportunity for you all to give feedback, for you all to give me feedback about your supervisor and the placements in general, outside of the class requirements. So this is so that I can get a sense of, I'm not sending any more students there, or, you know, those types of things, because that didn't happen in the last cohort, but that did happen. That is something that happened with me directly. One of my practicum experiences was very, very, very terrible. And once my liaison officer got to the bottom of it, they, as far as I know, in the last 7 years, they have not sent anyone back there because it was bad, right? So that is very welcome as well. Like with similar to the SSLC, if it is something that can be addressed directly with your supervisor, or if it's something that you would feel comfortable bringing up at those supervisor liaison meetings, sure. But we do understand that there are some things that you might want to be a little more private or confidential about, we, when I say we, the UE can address on your behalf. Yeah, I just want to make, so it's not about the supervisor coming and bashing you right through and you don't get a say in anything. We also care about your opinion, your experiences, what's going on with you. You know, sometimes some supervisors are just not very understanding and, you know, life gets rough.
And so those types of things we want to make sure that we accommodate for you all as well. Any other questions or concerns before we wrap everything up?
I have a question. Well, once you've registered, I suppose this week at some point, what is your next step? The classes next week?
Classes begin on the 6th, I believe.
Right, okay, so that's the week after, okay. So that would be digital for the most part, like we'd get the course outline and any Zoom links or whatever will be there, I suppose.
Yeah, things will be put onto my learning for your access.
I know that Nadia has a preference for Google Classroom, but what she does is that she puts the links to the Google Classroom on my learning. So things will still be in my learning, even if you don't have access to like a Gmail account or something like that. Things will still be available to you. But that's with Nadia. I can't speak for Fiora specifically.
Okay, no problem. And do we need like anything? I know I had asked before, like in terms of any sort of equipment or anything that we may need to look into getting now and practical times, or
not for this semester.
Okay, all right.
That's the
just so I can wrap my mind around, like, you know, prices and you know what I should be doing.
Just for reference, if you do decide to buy your books rather than use them from the library, SLP books are very expensive. If that's a cost factor, that is something you want to keep in mind. Particularly from me, I can't speak for your other lecturers, particularly from me, I will stress the ones that I think are really important for you to get. I am that nerd who has all her textbooks from since undergrad. I am that person, and I teach you all from it. So it helped me a lot years and years and years down the road. So that was a good investment on my part. But it doesn't always work out that way for everyone. But in terms of equipment for this semester, have a good laptop. If you live where there's poor Wi-Fi, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't think of anything else immediately for this semester. For the labs, dress appropriately. Let's use that word. It is class time, so you don't, for the labs with me on campus, let's start there. Dress appropriately. I don't think you should go buy scrubs if you have to go to a hospital. Yes, you would dress. Usually the automatic dress code for SLP is business casual. So nothing too tight, nothing too form-fitting, nothing too revealing, but enough for you to be comfortable, because you may have to roll around on the ground with a 2-year-old, right? So those types of things. And that's something to keep in mind when you go to your placements as well. So that's a conversation you would want to have with your supervisors. Some supervisors may be okay with you wearing jeans because they know that you'll be working with children and you'll have to be on the floor, you'll have to, run outside if you have a coach read for the occupational therapists and those kinds of things, if wear flats and those types of things. Whereas some supervisors, particularly if you're going into home visits, you would want to be a little more professional. If you're in the hospital, if you so choose, if you have a permanent hospital placement, if you want to wear scrubs, that is recommended, but it's not needed. You can go business professional as well, business casual as well. But outside of that, for the labs, at least on campus, just dress as you would to come to class, but not as you would come to class. Some people, but those, if there are any labs that need to take place, maybe in an open forum or at a hospital, you'd want to dress more professionally. Yes, Melanie?
Yes. So Sorry, in terms of reading material and books and stuff, would you be so kind to send us the course, well, for yours, the books as well, and for all the other courses, because we wouldn't have access to the library at MedSci, unfortunately. So if we could buy books on Amazon secondhand, used books,
yeah,
that would be awesome. Because that's what I did in my undergrad to import all my books because I used it.
Okay. Robert, can we confirm that MedSci library? Because I do remember when I was in undergrad, we had access to it.
I thought she meant in the COVID context. I thought you meant Melanie.
Yeah, in the COVID context, because of course we only have open campus here in Tobago. So if we we don't have access, like if we're in Trinidad physically, and we don't have the books, we don't have access to the MedSci library. Can we have the books in the meanwhile? So in case if we do get, we could buy a digital copy or
okay.
Handbook. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. I can
Thank you.
At least get the list to you all even before you have the course outlines. So I can do that. That's not a problem. So thank you all so much for coming and enduring this time with us. I look forward so much to working with you all over the next 3 years. Yes, you will have me every single semester. So you'll get annoyed. You'll get fed up with me afterwards. That's okay. But you know, those of us who have agreed to lecture you and to mentor you and supervise you, we are so excited. We are so looking forward. We need you all so much. I can't stress that enough. Particularly in the public sector. If you speak to Mrs. Stephanie Minty and to Nadia, they are swamped because it's them alone. And the kinds of things that they ask of one person to do, it's probably not, you know, mentally sound. So we need all the support we can get in as many places we can get them. Public, private, school, hospital, health center, academia, right? We need you all. So we are so excited that you all are so excited about it. We know that some of you have been waiting forever. So we are glad to finally have you in our clutches. And we are not willing to let you go. So trust, if you are struggling, we will do our best to keep you here safely, healthily, mentally sound as best as we can. Obviously, if you feel like you get to the point where I can't, we are not going to be like, no, you have to, but we are here to support you with any decisions that you make moving forward. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and looking forward to the next 3 years.
One last question, only because it just popped into my head. How soon will we learn about the groups that we're going to be in? And also, there was one more thing. Okay, well, the groups that we're going to be in for now.
When those practicum come around.
Okay.
So I mean, I can give you the list now. I'll think about it. I have it set up already. So I might give you first week of class. But the reason why I'm stalling is that I'm trying to avoid clique forming.
Gotcha.
So I don't want it to be like, oh, I know I'm going to be with this person, so let me only friend up with this. That's subconsciously what I'm trying to avoid. You know, I want everybody to be friends.
And at the same time, the
groups will be changed? Sorry.
One more time. So your diagnostic team will always be your diagnostic team, regardless of which semester you're in. And your hearing screening team will always be your hearing screening team. Like I said, the only team that is the same both times would be the Tobago team.
Okay.
Simply out of convenience, because if I could have, I would have separated them regardless. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you all have a wonderful night and a wonderful 3 years. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.